Hello, I'm Bayero Agabi. As we face the new society driven by data and information, Cyber Africa provides you a trusted platform. Here we understand how telecoms, the internet and the media are redefining our world.
Hello, Africa. Hello, Africa. Tell me how you do, Africa.
Cyber Africa, connecting Africa.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Cyber Africa on Kakaki. I'm Gideon Tobiloba, standing in for a regular host, Bayero Agabi. For weeks now, the entire nation has been experiencing queues in filling stations, even though it's fading slowly. But the truth remains that the solution is far from being reached. But the question is just, when will Nigeria overcome the recurrent energy crisis, especially at a time when developed nations are already planning and investing heavily in renewable energy? As a nation, how long are we going to continue like this? To what extent can we achieve economic development where the nation cannot provide constant power supply for its people? Just relax and stay tuned for more.
It's been hectic because there are some filling stations that are selling for 200 naira. If you are not ready to pay 200 naira, then you have to go for the major marketers who sells at the official rate, which is 145 or 143. Like I bought 10 liters this morning, it was 200 naira.
Government say for a day, market are no carry out. But I think if they sell free, if you fair day, all the place where they sell free, this scarcity no go happen now. Since I get no place where they sell free until I reach here. Since I get know how many first season we did from I get. Now only this place they sell free.
It's fair than at the weekend or Christmas time where the queue was so much, the whole of this road was blocked, and people were not even getting the fuel to buy. But at least today, all the pumps are working. I saw, and they've opened the 2 gates and the vehicles are flowing, so they are selling the fuel. So it's better, it's okay.
There's a lot of traffic outside there, which we don't want traffic.
Okay.
So we want the cars to be moving in, buying their product, buying fuel, and just be going. That's what we want.
With many Nigerians complaining bitterly of the seemingly unending fuel crisis, observers believe that the best option is in renewable energy.
Renewable energy is an alternative source of power supply derived from sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, and geothermal heat. Based on the Renewable Energy Policy Network for the 21st Century 2016 report, renewable contributed 19.2% to humans' global energy consumption and 23.7% to generation of electricity in 2014 and 2016 respectively. Worldwide investment in renewable technologies amounted to more than $286 in 2015, with countries like China and the United States heavily investing in wind, hydro, solar, and biofuels. Globally, there are an estimated 7.7 million jobs associated with the renewable energy industries. As of 2015 worldwide, more than half of all renewable electricity capacity installed was renewable. Where does Africa and Nigeria especially stand in this?
Unfortunately, the entrenched interests in fossil fuel energy are very, very powerful globally. And they have been resisting this green or renewable energy for quite a long time. They've been resisting research in it, they're resisting use in it. But what is happening is that it's developing and it's becoming cheaper and cheaper to have green energy. And definitely there are plans afoot in places like Lagos, where you have large human population, you have large waste. You could actually produce a lot of energy for Lagos from just the biomass, and that's where the trees could be helpful. The leaves, the branches, you know, all the debris from trees and so on can be added to the biomass, and the biomass will give you the methane. The methane will drive your turbines. And also the research now in photovoltaic energy from the sunlight has gone into top gear. The Chinese are taking it on. Different companies like Germany are getting very, very strong with it. So the efficiency of these solar cells has increased tremendously. Part of the challenge there is the storage. There's issues with the batteries, but they're working on that now.
Renewable energy penetration in Nigeria is still in its nascent stage. The only source of renewable energy in the country is hydropower and biomass. Wind and solar energy have only been deployed in minuscule amounts. Solar energy in Nigeria is very much underutilized and majorly used in urban areas for street lighting, while in rural areas it is used for irrigation projects and water pumping. What is unarguable is that Nigeria is still far behind in providing constant power supply and exploring renewable energy alternative.
We look at the challenges we have around, and we begin to research, and we find out that there is this particular challenge all over the world that people keep talking about. Energy challenge. This energy challenge, how can we solve it? How can we solve it? And that's got us thinking, and our R&D team got into action, and they begin to research and discover a particular weed. On the waterways that's called water hyacinth.
Hyacinth?
Yes, water hyacinth. Some people call it costweed. Some people call it series of names. It's on the waterways all over the place. And we realized that this weed actually deterred most of these farmers, fishermen, to paddle their canoe to wherever they are going to fish. And the state government and the federal government spend so much annually to ensure they evacuate this weed most of the time from the waterway. They spend so much money, and we research into it, and we realize it's a very good source of fuel, and that's how green energy and biofuel, you know, come into play.
China recently launched the largest solar farm in the world, while Nigeria is scavenging for crude oil in other parts of the country, despite other nations targeting powering their entire nation with renewable energy in the next few years. How ready is Nigeria to meet the United Nations target of the year 2025 for a world powered by renewable energy? Can Nigeria afford to miss out from renewable energy on its own with the enormous benefits it comes with, which include improved public health, inexhaustible energy, stable energy prices, and much more?
With over 47 awards, both local and international, Infotech Network, owners of DG Vision Network, has continued to maintain the top spot in ICT and digital revolution in Africa. Join us every week for the issues and trends and actors in the ICT digital ecosystem. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us at this time.
That's the show for this week. You can join us next time for another informative edition on Cyber Africa. My name remains Gideon Tobiloba. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Bayero Agabi. As we face the new society driven by data and information, Cyber Africa provides you a trusted platform. Here we understand how telecoms, the internet and the media are redefining our world.
Well, hello, Africa. Well, hello, Africa. Tell me how you do, Africa.
Cyber Africa, connecting Africa.